Thank you for joining me for my first ever cooking video. I decided to film this because there's a lot of holiday baking that happens in my book, My Totally Elfed Christmas, and I wanted to not only share some of the recipes from the book, but also make it fun and hopefully entertaining for all of you. So let's get this party started. So today I decided I'd start out simple and just show how I make a homemade crust. A lot of people these days do store-bought crusts, but in particular for people who have gluten allergies, you have to make your own crust to really get a decent one. But also it's just fun to make homemade crusts. That's something that I grew up with in my family, and I love to keep that tradition alive. So one of the easiest, or one of the tools that will make this the easiest is if you have a food processor. It makes getting that butter cut into the flour 10 times easier. So if you have a food processor, break that out. You want to add your flour in. This is 2 cups of flour, and I added a little dash of salt in there as well. So I'm going to pulse it 3 times just to get the salt mixed in. And then we add our butter. And I have this butter nice and really cold. I usually throw it into the freezer after I cut it into these about tablespoon size slices. And when you throw it in the freezer, that keeps it really cold, and that's going to help your crust be a little bit flakier. So here we go. Okay, and you get that nice smooth sound. You don't hear a lot of the rumbling. That means that it's in there good, nice and worked into the flour. And then the last step, actually I'm going to keep my lid on for this. I like to pulse it while I add in the water. You add in some ice cold water. Again, that icy cold temperature is going to help your crust be more flaky while it's baking. So I'm putting in 6 to 7 tablespoons. So I usually start out with 6, and we'll just kind of see how that goes. And so all the dough has come together into a big dough ball. And that took less than 5 minutes to throw together a quick homemade crust. This is a double recipe, so I'll break it into 2 crusts and then roll it out and add this apple filling. And I'm trying a new recipe. The recipe that I got today is from my friend Melanie Rogers, and it is actually an apple pie recipe that you make in a cast iron skillet. So you make it on the stovetop first and then stick it in the oven to cook. And I'm so excited to see how it turns out. I'm going to roll out the batter now. So I used this non-stick silicone mat to roll out the pie. There's circles to mark inches of pies, and this one, the diameter of the mat from top to bottom is 9 inches, so I know that once my circle's about that size, then I'm at the right size. And so I will kind of fold this and set it aside and make my top crust, and then get this skillet apple pie put together.